Hello, my dear friends. It's that time once again, time for another episode of Tarot for the Soul, weekly insights to support our collective journeys in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment. Can you feel it? The winds of change are blowing in once again. I'm feeling like super awesome today. There's definitely been a shift of energy, especially compared to some of the harsh aspects that were happening over the weekend. And I took the day off today. My amazing husband just got me some amazing almost fall flowers. So I am good to go, and I'm deciding to go with the Osho Zen Tarot today. We're going to do a 5-card spread looking at what's going on with the collective, consciously, subconsciously, emotionally, what the challenges are, what the opportunities are. So definitely stay tuned for the full episode to get all of the insights and messages for the week ahead. And I want to take a moment to thank you all so much for all the support you've been giving me on this channel. Thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing the content that I'm creating for all of us. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to take a moment just to tune in, shuffle the cards here. I'm going with a 1-camera setup again this week just for efficiency in editing. But let me know what you guys prefer. Do you prefer 1-camera setup and the way I did it last week and this week? Do you like the 2-camera setup? And within the 2-camera setup, we can make it so that the cards are in the primary focus and then I'm in a little corner so you can see me talking, or we can do it the opposite way where I am in the main frame talking with the second camera showing the cards in one of the corners of the video. Let me know what you prefer, okay? All right, so I'm tuning in, getting some messages for the collective here for the second week of September. I'm always fascinated with how the messages that come through in the cards align with what's going on astrologically. So we're going to take a little bit of a peek at that as well. Okay, so shuffling the cards, tuning in here, asking that all the information that comes through today is coming from only the highest sources of guidance possible, and that the messages that are coming are in alignment with the highest path of evolution for the collective. And I'm going to go ahead and select the 5 cards that we'll be working with today. Here we go. I'm selecting them now. I feel like this card wanted to flip out, so I'll make that a bonus card. And 5 cards for today. All right, we've got the cards. So there was an extra card that flipped out, and I'm going to start with that as sort of like an extra message around an archetypal energy that's supporting us in our collective journeys in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment for this week. Working with the Osho Zen Tarot, it is the card that's called the Thunderbolt, which correlates to the Tower card in like a classical tarot deck. And it showed up reversed in the reading. And so as I'm looking at this as an archetypal energy that's supporting our collective journeys in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment, this is really aligned. We're going to talk about this because it is aligned with some of the astrological aspects that are going on. The teachings and the opportunity for soul growth that comes with the Thunderbolt card, which again is also like the Tower card reversed, is a lot around allowing whatever is ready to be brought to completion in your life, whatever you're ready to have closure with, whatever you're ready to clear and release, be in a space of allowing that and not resisting it. Now, some of you may have noticed that yesterday I uploaded a video that guides you through a really empowering process for emotional clearing. I did that on purpose because this technique that I shared in that video is really going to be a helpful tool and resource to guide you through the energies that are happening this month. It started out last week with all of those swords that we got. Remember all the sword cards that came up? And which is a lot about cutting ties, clearing space. There were some other things that came through around like the challenge aspects with the sword cards as well. But you know, as we're starting off today with the basically the Tower card reversed, it's the message, a clear message to be in a space of allowing whatever wants to release, whatever wants to be cleared, whatever wants to be brought to completion or closure, whatever you need to shed. This is the week to do that, and we are all being energetically supported in that. So if you are a person who feels like you need a little bit of extra support in understanding how to clear and release whatever you feel needs to be cleared and released from within you, watch the video that I just uploaded yesterday. I'll put a link to it right up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. So in the spread of the 5 cards that I selected here, the first card that we're looking at is external influences. And interesting, in the Osho Zen card, they have a card called laziness. It's related to the number 9, and it looks like this. Okay, so this actually is connected to the fact that, okay, tomorrow, which is September 9th, I'm recording this on the 8th, Mars goes retrograde in Aries. Aries is like an energy that initiates, activates, drives us forward, compels us forward in the realm of action. Mars also is a driving force. The fact that we're seeing the Mars retrograde tomorrow brings everything sort of to a screeching halt and compels us a little bit more inward. And so the laziness card that's showing up as far as the external influences that we're experiencing, which I consider to be on a variety of realms. This can be what's going on in the collective conscious, the mass consciousness happening in the world right now, which is of course inspired by what's going on with the cosmic weather astrologically. And so Mars retrograde in Aries starting tomorrow. We're in like the shadow period of that right now. We're being asked to slow down, go within a little bit, and have some introspection and some re-evaluation around how we're being compelled to take action in life. And right now, this week, at least in the next few days, it's more about the introspection. So if we're combining the Thunderbolt or the Tower card reversed with the laziness card, again, this week, at least the first part of this week, letting things fall away, give yourself some chill time, be in a space where you're allowing your energy field to be relaxed and expansive, because that will support on the energy level whatever clearing and releasing that's wanting to happen. Now is not the time to force action forward. This is not the time to bulldoze through whatever might feel like obstacle energies or challenges. Go with the flow. Give yourself some spaciousness. Give yourself maybe some much needed self-care time, and let it be aligned with the energies of introspection around what's compelling your actions in your life, and also some introspection and some self-care work and some healing work around what are you ready to clear, release, and let go of. Okay, inward influences for this week. I knew this was going to come up. I saw this card earlier when I was playing with the deck, and it did come up. It's the card that's called the Dream, and it's showing up reversed, which I'll talk about. And so let's look into, what this means for us collectively. Collectively speaking, all of us are having some reconsideration, some reorientation, some reevaluation around what our personal dreams are and the dream of the planet. So as I'm looking at the imagery of this card, the message that is coming through for us collectively is a lot about having some consideration and awareness around how much of your goals and dreams are influenced by how we've collectively been socialized, conditioned, domesticated by our personal cultures and communities, and how much of those things are actually connected to your true goals and dreams. Right now, as we all know well by now, we are experiencing this year a tremendous activation and boost forward in regard to collective awakening of consciousness. And as a part of that, we have the opportunity to reclaim our personal dream and allowing that personal dream to be connected to how we genuinely are really soulfully feeling compelled to experience life. And then there's the secondary sphere of influence that is around how is your personal true dream supporting the collective dream of the planet. I have a vision of Earth being surrounded by infusions of light, cosmically, but a lot of that cosmic influence is connected to the collective, the higher octave of the collective consciousness, and what we are all holding space for regarding the dream of the planet, which feels like renewal, revitalization, healthfulness, green energy, lush green plants flourishing, vibrant, clear, clean oxygen, renewed healthfulness on the planet on all levels, physically speaking, energetically speaking. And so as this dream card is coming up on the internal influences, which can be seen as the deep emotional pull that we're all having collectively, is to clear away conditioning that maybe previously to now has been influencing us to chase dreams that aren't even really our dreams, right? Let's take the classical example of, okay, white picket fence, 2 homes, this many kids. Is that really what we want? Or are we chasing things that we were told we should want? This awareness is coming up this week for us all individually to consider. And it wouldn't be coming up if it wasn't that we were all being given a cosmic opportunity to make a quantum leap, so to speak, forward in the now in regard to reorienting, realigning our energies in ways that are conducive and supportive of us getting on track with manifesting our true dream, individually and collectively. Hidden influences, which can be seen as subconscious or unconscious influences. So cool. Guidance, the guidance card. Many of us might be feeling in the dark right now. We might be experiencing a little bit of a dark night of the soul. We might feel like we're out in the wilderness spiritually, and we want to grow, we want to expand, but we may not be sure how to do that. So this is about knowing that we do all have access to higher guidance from higher realms spiritually, guardian angels, spiritual guides, teachers, helpers, God, spirit, universe, whatever you call it, has our back, is guiding us forward. And so trusting that, subconsciously, we all know that. And so just bringing it to the conscious level now through calling it out maybe can help us to find a little bit more courage and support in continuing the journey forward. I know that just based on like my social media involvements in the past week, a lot of us are feeling a little bit lost, a little bit in despair, a little bit exhausted and sort of weary of the journey, but it doesn't have to be that way. I'm here to tell you that it's worth it to move through what feels like the low times, because the return to empowerment that's gained through moving through the healing is priceless. So I encourage us all this week to consciously claim and tap in to the higher guidance that is guiding us all right now. I don't know if you can hear the raven coming through that's cawing right now, but I'm definitely seeing that as a confirming sign that we do have higher guidance available to all of us right now. Thank you, Raven. Okay. The cautionary energy, or could be the challenge energy for this week for the collective. Creativity reversed. So the creative energy now is about turning inward and being inspired. It's not so much a time of expressing outwardly. I've already sort of discussed that with some of these other messages that are coming through, the other cards. So how is this showing up in a challenge aspect or a caution aspect? When I'm looking at this card, to me, you know, the figure on this card has crowns, a crown of stars on her head, and she's looking to the moon. And there's a lotus in half blossom. The card showed up reversed for the reading. And to me, this says, in regard to processes connected to discerning how you're feeling guided to create, how you're feeling guided to invest your energies in the world, we have to get out of our heads and into our souls, into our intuitive feeling space. And so this does present a challenge for people who are used to operating on more of a analytical or mental level. We do want to use the analytical mind, but we want to use it to carry out the guidance that comes from our soul, from our spirit. And I know from some of my own clients that I've had sessions with in this past week that one of the dynamics that's been coming up for people is they don't know who they are. They don't know what their passions are. They don't know what their true interests are. And this card aspected in the reverse position, the way it's coming up, is sort of the epitome of that. We have to really be able to drop into a clear sense of inner true knowing around what our creative enthusiasms, interests, passions are, before we can really be on the journey of expressing them or contributing them to life. So again, this goes with the theme that's coming up this week about allowing ourselves a little bit of a window, space or time of going inward. The energy is very delightfully conducive to that. And when we're going inward, it doesn't always have to be like super deep meditation. It can be just letting yourself have a little more space in your life for this week, a little bit more time for me time, a little bit more time for just whatever makes you shift into the energy of feeling delightful in your life. It's all about like the sensing and feeling level of things. Now, there are several videos on my channel that are connected to how to access your inner guidance, how to access your sense of soul purpose, and I would recommend reviewing those during this week if you can, because it will be a real helpful support. And then the last card for today for the collective is the Power card. What is our power message for the week? Innocence. It's the card of innocence coming up. Showing up reversed, which to me means about opening an energetic, metaphoric gateway within yourself to reclaim your innocence as an eternal soul, as a child of God, a child of the Creator. Okay? Contrary to popular belief in some circles, we are not born sinners. We are born whole and complete, innocent soul beings of light. It's our socialization, our domestication, our conditioning, the illusions of the physical material world that pull us away from that innocence, but we all have the ability to reclaim that. The energy of this innocence card in the Osho Zen Tarot reminds me of the energy of the Fool card in a classical tarot deck. It's the energy of blissful union with oneness that we experience before we're born into the world. It's the state of blissful union of oneness that we are in soulfully, spiritually, before we begin being socialized and conditioned in the world of form. That energy is ours to reclaim anytime we choose, and the energy of this week is very conducive to that. So what might that look like for you? That might look like being on a journey of forgiveness, forgiving yourself for any past actions that you feel bad about, guilty over, forgiving other people. Now, remember that forgiveness does not mean that you're condoning hurtful behavior by another person, but it means that because you love yourself, you're no longer allowing hurtful past actions that you've experienced through your connection with other people to continue to hurt you in the now. So a return to innocence is very connected to forgiveness. Forgiveness enables tremendous amounts of healing to occur. Practicing, mindfulness practices that support you in really just being in the now, that are strongly connected with your sense of connection with your silent knowing, which is connected with spirit and higher guidance. Innocence can be experienced as a sense of unified harmony that you experience in the now, while feeling deeply connected with your inner knowing, your soul wisdom. And you're just being an instrument of divine orchestration to work through you. Trusting that being an instrument of divine orchestration that's working through you is a part of actually what's going to enable you to rise up into your path of highest joy and fulfillment. So that's what our messages are for the collective this week. Let me know in the comments how this is resonating with you. Can't wait to hear what your experience with these energies are. Much love and blessings to all of you, and I'll see you later this week for some additional sacred wisdom teachings. Blessings and namaste.